Investigators continue to piece together the facts of a terrifying case in Hawkins County. June 13th, the sheriff said 2 juveniles were under arrest for plotting a mass killing at Volunteer High School. Sheriff Ronnie Lawson said the teens were obsessed with the Columbine High School massacre. A local massacre never happened, and Sheriff Ronnie Lawson credited the quick work of a mental health crisis counselor who worked for Youth Villages. That is the agency that had the statewide contract to provide mobile crisis services for youth across Tennessee. They helped about 10,000 kids last year. But earlier this year, Youth Villages learned the state decided that another agency in Northeast Tennessee could do a better job, a decision that sparked controversy and questions. Here's the result of a month-long News Channel 11 investigation.
We didn't really mean this as any kind of disparaging thing on the current vendor.
To understand what's happening, you have to start with this man, Tennessee Commissioner of Mental Health Doug Varney. Last February, he told a committee of lawmakers in Nashville that after 11 years as the sole provider for mobile crisis services for youth, Youth Villages would have to compete to keep its contract.
It's really a difference in philosophy and really wanting to put more competition and have an evaluation of that whole system that had not really been looked at for a long time.
Varney had the authority to make the call himself, but to assure fairness, he said he hand-selected a 7-member panel. That panel, made up of 5 of Varney's employees, considered the bids and ranked Youth Villages lower than one from Frontier Health, so Youth Villages got the boot. Not what Greene County Judge Ken Bailey wanted to hear.
That I felt like Frontier Health did not have good response time.
Judge Bailey said on 2 occasions Frontier Health's performance was abysmal. In one instance, he said people could have been killed due to the failure of Frontier Health crisis staff to respond in a timely manner, a claim Bailey made in a letter to the state, part of Youth Village's application to keep the contract. Similar letters of support were included in Frontier Health's application.
I'm a believer that if someone's doing a good job and they're doing it right and they're meeting the expectations, then they should maybe continue to do that job.
In fact, Youth Village's most recent audit showed it was 100% compliant, exceeding all benchmarks for success. As recently as July 2013, the state mailed this letter with Commissioner Varney's name on the letterhead to Youth Villages, saying the company, quote, met or exceeded all contractual obligations. Even lawmakers on that state panel in Nashville wanted to know,
what sort of hard data that concerns you in order to change the entire way that we have been doing something.
That's right.
So, to the question, what were they doing wrong?
Yeah, we never have really said that Youth Villages was doing a bad job. It's just we really didn't have good benchmarks to compare what they were doing.
Varney's decision didn't just help any company. He awarded the contract to his former employer of more than 30 years. Varney was Frontier Health's CEO until he became Governor Haslam's mental health commissioner January 18, 2011. Since then, Frontier Health has seen its state contracts increase significantly by more than $3.4 million.
What do you say to the charge that Frontier is benefiting from the fact that their former CEO is now the Commissioner of Mental Health?
Right. I have no connection with Frontier Health.
Our investigation shows that's true. But records also show the parting came with a big payday. After just 2 weeks on the job in 2011, Frontier Health paid Varney almost $500,000, about double what he made for the entire previous year.
A lot of money. What was that for?
It really was accumulated deferred compensation. I had vacation time that I'd accumulated. I actually had pay that I'd already earned. And it was really getting all that out at one time.
State law required Commissioner Varney to disclose that income from Frontier Health in 2011 with the Tennessee Ethics Commission, but he didn't, not until this year. He chalks it up to a misunderstanding of the rules.
It's not clear in the instructions.
I think that some could say that would raise a red flag.
Still, Judge Bailey respects Varney's decision.
I really feel like that he felt like this was the decision that was best for folks in Northeast Tennessee. I disagree with him about that, but that's the decision that he made that he thought was best.
Varney says his past ties aren't the point.
I don't want any questions, Josh, about any of this. What I'm trying to do is too important to me. It's too important to me. My integrity is very important to me.
He says under his leadership, the state has shifted resources away from centralized state facilities, like the now closed Lakeshore Mental Health Facility in Knoxville, into the community where people are in need.
One thing I am surely biased on, I believe it's better to treat people closer to home family and friends, as opposed to committing them to some institution that's more than 100 miles away.
A rethinking of the system, Varney says, is all about the patients, not his past.
Youth Villages still does have mobile crisis contracts in several other parts of the state. We asked Youth Villages if their officials have questions about the loss of the contract in Northeast Tennessee. The executive director said Youth Villages was not privy to the discussions that led to the contract change and that all involved want the very best for the children of the Tri-Cities region.